Good morning, everyone. Let's take a couple deep breaths as we center ourselves. Let's go ahead and expand our solar plexus energy. Make it as big as you in all directions. Now make it 6 feet bigger than you in all directions. Good job. How's your beautiful body doing this morning? And how are you, the being, doing this morning? We need to feed both the being and the body because they're two separate items. The body and the being. Sometimes the body is tired, sometimes the being is tired. And right now, there's a lot of beings and bodies that are feeling overwhelmed. A lot of things are happening. A lot of changes are happening. Some changes are happening with your permission. Some changes are not waiting for permission because transformation is on the agenda. Transformation must take place in this group ascension. See, a lot of times we think that transformation is not taking place because we don't see it. Transformation is not taking place because transformation is supposed to be hard. You are at this moment in time, you are transforming every minute of every hour of every day. Your body is going through tremendous changes. Your being is going through tremendous changes. But we get the idea that it's not happening because it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be visible. Interesting point of view. We have that point of view. And if we look at a challenge, we want to see it from one face only. See, a challenge in front of you is multi-faced, like a diamond. You have to look at it from different angles. And then you got to ask yourself, what does it require of you to change this? What is it require of you to change this? What is it require of you to get for you to change this? Who is required to be there to help you change this? If it's a spiritual challenge, then go inside of you and ask those questions. What is it required of you to change this? You know, sometimes growing spiritually is easier than, for example, having to climb a mountain. We make it hard. We make it hard. We doubt ourselves. You got to ask yourself, everything that shows up in your life, it's for a reason, for a purpose, for a benefit, for a value. Good or bad, there's a value in it. There's a benefit in it. So everything there is a significance to showing at that time with that person. A significance, but not as significant. It's not about making something bigger than it should be. There is a meaning as to why, but doesn't have to be major reason in your life. So pay attention to what you're doing, who you're doing it with, and what is showing up while you're doing it. For some reason or other, there a lot of times lately, a lot of songs are popping into my head. Out of nowhere. I don't even know the tunes, as you know me. I don't know the lyrics. I have know half the tune of it, or just a little bit. But start noticing the patterns. Notice the pattern and see what is it that is trying to tell me. Why is it showing up? What's the benefit of it? You might not believe it, but sometimes the benefit is not doing something. Benefit doesn't always mean that it's something good. It could also be something bad. When you're shown something that you deem it as bad, it's like, okay, have you learned your lesson? Why is it that I'm seeing this again? Remember, we keep talking about having an outcome out of everything that we do. That is one of those things. You need to have an outcome. What is that you want out of it? Like last night, I watched the movie. I wanted to know what the message was in the movie because movies do tell a message to humanity. And this was the first time I saw that movie, or I saw a theme of that movie. And in other times, I had seen the opposite theme. So keep an eye open. Keep your awareness expanded. For you to see, for you to hear, for you to be aware, for you to realize what's going on around you at all times. So that we don't keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. But in order for you to get out of that cycle, you need to recognize the pattern so that you can break it and you're not in the loop. And you can break out of that cycle, out of that loop. It's all about you. It's all about creating your life, not repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again. But until you notice the patterns and you get out of that loop, you'll continue to create the same mistakes. Because as far as the universe is concerned, you haven't learned the lesson. And you need to continue to repeat the pattern until you do learn it. So whatever blockages, whatever challenges, whatever issues you have in your life right now, look for the patterns. Where else have you seen this? Where else have you felt the same energy in your life? And then, once you've done that, you can say, I'm done with this. I let go. Change the way you look at all of this. Like the diamond that we talked about. Look at the issue, look at the problem from a different angle. You might get a different perspective. You might get the solution that was completely and totally invisible to you before. And create your life. Say thank you. I see it now. I let it go. And be ready to create the future you desire. Because it'll be yours for the taking. It will be yours. But you have to be willing to open yourself up. It's kind of the way I see it, it's kind of like dissecting your own emotions. It takes courage. It takes tears sometimes. But you will overcome whatever the issue is, whatever the blockage is. If you're willing to be brave enough to look at it face to face. And at some point, you should, when you're ready, just sit in a room and go inwards. And start with what if? What will happen if you don't let this go? What will your life be like? What will happen if you let this go? What will your life be like? What happens if you let this go and the relationships you have now? What happens if you don't let this go? How will your relationships change or stay the same? And how do you feel about that? See how it's all about questions? Never is it about answers. Start peeling that onion of that blockage or that issue that you have. Time is going real fast, as you see. You don't want to wake up 5 years from now and be in the same place. That would be a shame. But remember, everything that happens It's a contribution. It's a benefit of some way, shape, or form to whatever you are going through right now. And it's all about you. For when you're ready, it's all about you. And with that, let's take a couple deep breaths as we center ourselves, we come back to the present. And when you're ready, rub your hands together, rub your face, and open your eyes.